up over 100% on its first day of trading. It didn't even open up anywhere near the listed price. The initial listed price for C3.AI stock, or the C3.AI IPO, AI is the stock, was originally supposed to be $35 a share. It opened up at like 97. So any regular investor that didn't have an inside scoop to get those initial shares didn't have any chance of getting that nearly 150, 100% plus move up. It's just ridiculous. The whole IPO process is redonkulous. Like the fact that you have, and keep in mind the difference between their listing price of around like $40, what ultimately was like $40, and the 100%. That's all those speculators that held the shares for like a few hours. Most of the gain goes to those folks. They're like, oh yeah, we'll buy it at 40 and then we'll sell it. It's crazy. The IPO process is ridiculous. It also reflects like the bubbly times where you're seeing hyper valuations for hyper growth stocks. So I need to get that brown paper bag, like deep inhalations, deep sigh. Like I just made a video on C3.AI stock where I'm talking about how I actually think the business is interesting. I think they have a strong value proposition. I think they could win over time. And for my exclusive Journey subscribers, I said, you know what? Maybe I'd buy a little around that $35 share valuation. What's it do? Opens up in the mid-90s. What are you supposed to do there? And what are investors supposed to do now? Like now that it's up, it's baked in most of the gain that I had penciled out already. Like where do you go from here? So let's actually talk about that real quick, because I think this is actually a super valuable sort of lesson to think about. Is like you should always pencil out what you think a company's worth before you check the market cap. Say, hey, what do I think this is worth? And then when you see what the market cap is, hey, that's either an incredible buying opportunity, or maybe there's a lot of downside potential. And like my underlying assumptions from when I was penciling out, a couple 100% upside for C3.AI, the reality is like the underlying assumptions haven't changed. What changed is the valuation. People just being like, yes, I want to pay 60 times sales for this company. And Journey subscribers would know why I'm hesitant about the company, with some of the things that I'm concerned about it. My previous C3.AI video, like it was over 30 minutes. There's only so much I want to, that YouTube watchers want to see. But this is just like, so that's why I have even more content for the Journey subscribers that want to see it, the exclusive content. But like, holy smokes, what are you supposed to do now that it's in the 90s? Like I'm as you can tell, I'm a little flabbergasted by the whole thing. So let me take a quick step back. So first, if this is your first time watching, my name is Daniel. You're watching Unrivaled Investing. This is a no-hype financial channel, mission focused on finding you exceptional companies and unrivaled investments. And I'm trying to find potential multi-baggers. Stocks that can go up hundreds or thousands of percent over time. So if you're interested in that, hit subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, hit that thumbs up. If you want to follow my personal journey to try to find those and the multi-baggers I have bought in the past, you can see by going to unrivaledinvesting.com, click on Journey. So here's the C3.AI valuation that I did from just a few days ago. But keep in mind, like the underlying business has not dramatically changed. Where here it is, I'm penciling out, and this is the initial price that they said that they're going to come out at. So clearly, exuberance took share and took hold of the company. Originally, it was $35 a share that they were talking about, or a $4 billion valuation. And so their growth rate decelerated significantly in recent quarters. So I was penciling out 10 to 30% growth this year. Long-term 35 to 45% margins, even though they're nowhere near that now. So this is like a big assumption that they get there, long-term. But, like overall, I felt given this valuation, you could pencil out over 300% upside. And this is the exact words I said. Where I said I thought it was a promising business, several revolutionary trends. And for my Journey subscribers, they knew I wanted to buy a little bit at this valuation. So you might watch this video and you're like, Daniel is just sour grapesing this. Like, Daniel's just sour that he didn't get it at 35 bucks. And you know what? I'm a little sour that you all decided to go absolutely bananas. Like, this whole market's gone bananas. Like, it's gone from this, which I think was a very interesting risk reward, to this, which is now $94. That's where it's trading in the after hours. $11 billion valuation. The upside, like, I didn't change the fundamental assumptions, but now, like, the upside's 50% from what I was originally penciling out, and the downside's 80%. Like, the risk reward's terrible now. So, I think as any investor, like, look, if you're playing a speculative game right now, then God bless. Like, I hope it works out for you. The reality is, if you look at the world's, richest, go through any list of the world's richest investors, and you're not going to see day traders up there for the most part. You're going to see, either hedge fund managers that have a big bold call on some stocks that go the right direction, or some macro traders like Stanley Druckenmiller. But by and large, like, if you're playing this sort of speculative game, I hope it works out for you. But I look at this and I'm seeing now it's 55 to 65 times forward sales, not earnings, sales. Assuming these full margins that they're nowhere near right now, 160 to 250 times earnings for a company that's not growing anywhere near that in the most recent quarters. So I think if you're a speculator saying, hey, my emotions are taking over, I fear missing out on a big run-up, I think it's always good to, like, you might be right. Maybe it goes dramatically higher from here. But I think you always want to have a logical framework. And this is the logical framework that I laid out in my first video. I'll have a link for it in the comments where you can click on the video, or you can click on this and you can play around with the framework yourself. But, like, you want a rational framework to think about things. And right now the market's going bananas over select companies. And I'd say just be prepared. Like, if you're buying this at $94 a share, I would say you should mentally brace yourself for what sort of volatility you might see. If you're playing for momentum and you have really tight stop losses or something like that, then look, that's a completely different game than I'm going for. I'm going for things I can just buy and hold, I can effectively partner with and sit on for years at a time, have multi-bagger potential, and that I enjoy. That becomes part of my journey. So that's, I just wanted to provide this update on what C3.AI IPO, now the AI stock, looks like now that it's rallied dramatically, and what I see from it. I'm not excited, as you can tell. There's definitely some sour grapes aspect here. And that's how the game's played. But you know what? I'm cool with that, because eventually things surprise you. And over a full market cycle, maybe you start getting some surprises. But right now, we're in the bananas phase of the market, in my opinion. So just bananas. So anywho, if you want to follow my journey to see what type of potential multi-baggers I'm buying from my portfolio, what multi-baggers I have bought from my portfolio, go to unrivaledinvesting.com. In addition to seeing what my portfolio each month, I call out one new potential multi-bagger for Journey subscribers. There's also an educational series each month, one new educational episode, and exclusive content where sometimes it's like, hey, here's my take on this company, but there's an exclusive cut that I did for C3.AI as well. And the reality is, finding just one potential multi-bagger can change your journey. So if you're interested in following my journey to try to find these multi-baggers, go to unrivaledinvesting.com, click on Journey. And if you enjoyed my angry rambling about C3.AI, then hit subscribe. I'm not angry. This is just part of the game. You got to accept it. This is part of the game. This is part of the human spirit. You got to accept both the highs and lows. And today was a high for a lot of existing C3.AI shareholders. That's part of the game. We got to roll with it. There will be opportunities in the future where it is compelling, in my opinion, and instead of 56% upside, 80% downside over 5 years, it's 320% upside and, maybe 20% downside over 5 years. So you got to be patient. That's my own approach from here. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you subscribe. If you're already a subscriber, I appreciate that thumbs up. Thanks so much.